Ringba, they be the king high. Now, what y'all won't do? Wanna be ballers, big shot paper callers.
Welcome to the Paper Caller Show. My name is Adam Young, the founder of Ringba, and today I have a very special guest. His name is Neil Patel. If you don't know who he is, you've been living under a rock for the last 10 years. He's a famous digital marketer. He's amazing at what he does, and he currently runs an agency called Neil Patel Digital, where he helps all types of businesses do their online marketing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Neil.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I've seen a ton of your videos all over the place on LinkedIn. I subscribe to them religiously. They're amazing. I've seen your work over the last 5 years with lots of clients and doing amazing things. But do me a favor, take us back to the beginning. How did you get started in internet marketing? What was that like for you?
Sure. I got started back in internet marketing 17 years ago. I was trying to find a job online. I couldn't find one. I created my own job website, and I thought, you pop up a website, people just come to it. As you know, that's not the case. I saved whatever money I had from picking up trash and cleaning restrooms to pay a marketing firm. I didn't pay them much, but they also didn't provide any results. They promised the world, though. I eventually, from being broke and frustrated, I had no choice but to learn online marketing, got decent at it. My site got traffic. And boom, I was off to the races. I was getting a ton of visitors, still making no money, but I was getting visitors. And I was like, I don't know how to make money online, but I know how to drive visitors. Let me just shift to driving visitors. And I loved it. It was fun. It was like my version of heroin or cocaine. I've never tried drugs, but everyone says they're addicting. And for me, traffic has been addicting. Probably a better analogy would be it's my version of coffee.
Oh, I completely understand. I remember the first campaign I ever did, which was a one field affiliate campaign in my parents' basement. And that first $1.25 I made, I didn't think it was real, but I was hooked. It is like crack.
Yeah, it is.
So what was that first site that you were building or trying to build?
It doesn't exist anymore. It was called Advice Monkey. It was a job board, and it failed miserably for many reasons, including the product sucked.
So what was your first success then? When did you start making money on the internet?
My first success was the ad agency called ACS, and we helped companies just grow their search traffic. I would speak at conferences, blog, and then grow from there. And then the 2008 recession hit, lost a lot of customers, moved on to software. But recently I've been back at the ad agency game with my agency called Neil Patel Digital, and I've been having a blast.
So what are some of the things that your agency currently does now for your clients?
SEO, paid advertising, conversion optimization, funnels, email marketing, the whole gamut. I would say majority of our customers mainly focus on the SEO and pay-per-click side, whether it's Facebook or Google AdWords. But in general, we do the whole gamut.
Are there any trends that you're seeing right now when it comes to funnel optimization that are unique?
No, but what we're seeing is there's a lot of little stuff that really moves the needle if you combine it all, and most people don't do that. So for example, order bumps have a nice small impact, two-step checkouts, of course, adding upsells and downsells, doing the sequencing where if someone went to the checkout page but didn't buy, you show them something different, or you remarket them and you show them a video on Facebook and YouTube through your marketing on what it would be like if there'd be a customer. Like all these little things to fine tune the funnel is what we're seeing that really makes the numbers work.
And so you kind of implied there for a moment that most marketers are lazy. And so all these little things you're putting together are really driving the needle, but most people won't take the time to do it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, some of it's laziness. They're expecting that you just throw something up and it works. And that's not the reality. Whether it's you or me or any marketer who's been doing this for a while, or even Harrison, there's times where we throw stuff up and it fails miserably. And that's normal. And you have to keep fine tuning and tweaking and testing. And a lot of people get that concept, but when they fail the first time, they're not willing to keep going at it. And then the second part is not everyone knows all of the tactics as well. They're not trying to continually learn. It's not like I'm coming up with all of these. I'm reading, I'm looking out there, I'm going to conferences, I'm doing as much networking as possible because I don't know everything. I believe everyone can teach me something. You know, when I met Harrison, who you work with, he was a little kid and he wasn't even 18, and he would go to these events with his mom. And when you look at that, just because he's younger and has less experience than me doesn't mean I can't learn something from him. And that's my philosophy in life. It doesn't matter what it is. I believe I don't know everything. I believe I'm not an expert, and I believe I can always get better.
That's an amazing mindset. And I think for our industry, which is pay-per-call, one of the biggest things I've been seeing lately is affiliates coming from other spaces like traditional CPA affiliate space or other types of digital marketing. They attempt to run a few phone calls, and that first campaign does not work out for them because they used some tactics that worked on a different style of campaign and they didn't get any results. And so they quit, or they claim that pay-per-call doesn't work, even though, you know, we see hundreds of thousands of phone calls a day flow through our platform. So it absolutely works, but it comes back to what you just said there when it comes to affiliates not trying over and over and over again. And marketing's perpetual failure. Like, if you can't handle being told no or failing, marketing isn't going to work. So one thing you mentioned there was conferences, going to them, speaking at them, and learning as much as you can from people. What are some of the ways that conferences have changed your business over the years?
It's changed my business. One, it's helped me get clients, but more so, it's helped me network and learn from other marketers. And to me, that's the most valuable thing I got from conferences. If you go to the right ones, yeah, clients are amazing as well. But it's just the knowledge that you gain, and seeing all those case studies of people implementing some of these tactics. For me, that's great.
Do you attend a lot of the panels at the conferences, or just spend most of your time in exhibit halls?
No, very little in exhibit halls, all more so sessions and just networking after hours. I love the panels. I hate the rehearsed stuff. It's not that bad. It's just I prefer like people talking freestyle and, you know, sharing their war stories.
Cool. So what are your favorite tactics that you guys are using right now at this very moment? What's moving the needle the most for you?
Sure. So there's a lot of little stuff like, you know, SEO has been working really well, but to give you more specifics, things like removing dates from URLs, like little tactic like that, in many cases, we're getting a 50% lift in search traffic because a lot of people have dates turned on by default through WordPress. Putting in links in the sidebar on our blogs to all the pillar content. We find that within 12 months, it usually kicks those posts really high up and they rank better. Doing things like looking at all the pages that rank already well in Google, taking those terms, putting them into tools like Uber Suggest, you get a laundry list of long tail terms, then going back and adjusting your content to include those terms. Because if you rank for the head term, it's really easy to rank for the long tail terms within 30 to 60 days.
Those are really great suggestions. I like the date one because I think most people overlook that. And when you post an article and it's from 22 weeks ago, Google deprioritizes. It's no longer interesting to users.
Exactly.
So when it comes to finding clients for your agency, what are some of the ways that you guys are going about recruiting new clients?
We just get a ton of inbound leads.
So you're just already famous, it just works, people know who you are?
Not everyone knows who I am, and by no means am I famous. It's just more so we get a ton of leads, like thousands and thousands and thousands a month.
Is that a result of your marketing activities over time, or are you guys running inbound campaigns to actually generate those?
Yeah, it's purely through marketing over the years and building up the brand.
Very cool. And I think what has a lot to do with that is the fact that most of your marketing, or most of what I see about you anyways, and this is the first time we've talked, so this is like what I've actually seen, is you give away a lot of content. You give away a lot of ideas to people. You're very open about sharing and growing communities and helping people out. Do you think that's one of the main reasons for your success with recruiting new clients?
I think so. It's helped. I believe every little bit helps. From writing blog posts to speaking at events to helping people, responding to every single comment, to doing YouTube videos and LinkedIn and Facebook videos. I think it's a mixture of everything, and marketing's turned into omni-channel approach. It's not one thing that gets you the clients. It's a bit of everything.
And how many hours a day do you work on this type of stuff?
It's the majority of my day.
And are you doing a 9 to 5, or are you going harder?
I'd probably, I start my workday around 5. I'll finish it around 10.
So 5 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah, I take breaks in between. Like I'll eat a sandwich while doing work or a meeting, but
Eating a sandwich while you're doing work isn't really a break, Neil. I just want to point that out. That's like a working lunch. That's a straight hustle mentality.
yeah, it was hilarious. So this morning I had an interview with someone in the UK at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So I was like eating cereal while talking to him, and I'll take a bite. I'd put the mute button, take a bite, because it was done over Skype, non-video. And then after I was done chewing and it was my turn to talk, I would unmute and then start talking, and I would just keep doing that back and forth.
So I think it's very interesting that you work this many hours and you just are straight hustling even when you're eating. But yet you were hesitant to bash on some affiliates for being lazy. And so I just want to point that out to our viewers that Neil over there is being very conservative about how hard he works, but 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. is a serious day, especially if you're doing it 5 days a week. But I have a feeling that he's not doing it 5 days a week, that he's more on the 7-day-a-week grind. And so I think that
I am, but also my weekdays aren't as bad. So in the morning, for example, like today at 6 something, I was working out and doing like a 15-minute workout. I use YouTube. So I ended up, there's this guy named Joe, the body coach, and I work out with him every single morning because he has like these 15-minute HIIT workouts. It's just high intensity interval training. I work out for 15 minutes and like I'm off to the races. So.
And you do this from home? Is this like a YouTube video?
And he has tons of them. He uploads one a week.
That's amazing. And so that's another thing I've noticed with highly successful internet marketers is they're not just focusing on their internet hustle, but almost 100% of the ones I know are also working on their personal wellness, which includes exercising, eating right, doing those type of things.
Yeah, eat very healthy, no fried food. I try to avoid things like red meat. I don't eat seafood, although I probably should because it's healthy. But I won't eat like the cheese, the mayonnaise, candy, sugary foods, or any of that.
Was your routine always like this, or did you just wake up one day and decide I need to be healthy?
Nah, it's been like this for a very long time. I don't even remember when I started. It's been like a very, very long time, over 10 years.
Wow. And so I think that's awesome that you get up, work out every day, and maintain focus on your personal health. I think that's the only way to not go crazy if you're going to put in those type of hours. Like your body will start to degrade if you don't exercise, if you don't eat right. And so I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, the biggest tip I have for people is like some people meditate. I'm not into meditation, but I'll do simple things like each day I'll go on for a walk for like 15, 20, 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes, maybe even longer, and just debrief and think about my day, how I could have done things better. I also look at each day and being like, what did I do wrong? What did I do better? What do I need to accomplish the next day? And think of it like a to-do list, but something small enough so you can get it done throughout a day versus something that's going to take a month.
Now, are you tracking your progress in that regard?
No, it's all mental notes. I don't write it down or anything like that. But because I've been doing it so long, I'm very good at if I have had to do something in a day, majority of the time, like 95, 98% of the time, I actually get it done that day.
And so you're basically waking up every morning and self-prioritizing the most important thing for your business and yourself that day and then focusing on it.
Correct. So I write myself emails and then I star them in Gmail, and each day I go through the star folder and I make sure everything is done.
That's very cool. That's very cool. And so I wish I could get a lot more people to actually subscribe to that type of mindset, because it's an amazing trend that I see, again, in all my successful friends. They're focused on their daily goal. They have long-term goals. They have timelines on those goals. They're working on their mental health, their physical health, all those things at once. And then not a single one of my successful friends is working a 9 to 5. They're available 24 hours a day and hustling. And so it's amazing to see that. And my question for you is, do you have any suggestions on how people can immediately optimize their lives for business that way? Is there something they can do if they maybe haven't really had this type of mindset before to get started?
do little things. So it's going to be too hard to go from, A to Z. Just pick one little thing to add into your routine every single week. And start small. Like working out doesn't have to be long and hard. You don't have to go to the gym and drive 15, 20 minutes each way. Like using YouTube and checking out all the videos there, whether you want to do cardio exercises or weight training or just leveraging body weight. Like there's videos on everything. And I recommend just adding one thing in your routine, whether it's walking or working out, or whether it's to-do list or task list. Just start off small and then gradually increase over time. Because if you try to change it overnight, it's going to be hard for you to keep up with it. You need to naturally get used to it and make it part of your life.
And I love that advice, and mostly for this reason. So as you can see, I'm wearing yoga pants, and
I love it.
I'm in my living room right now. There's a yoga mat right there, and I do all of my yoga on doyogawithme.com or Gaia from home. I don't go to a studio. I don't want to deal with the commute time. Even though I'm in a city, I could just walk there.
What city are you in?
I'm in San Diego.
Oh, that's really easy. There's probably like 50 down the street.
Yes, there are. But my friend, I am also not on the 5 a.m. hustle. I'm not a morning person, but from the time I wake up essentially to the time I go to sleep, I'm available for clients all over the world, or I'm working with my people who are all over the world and in different time zones. So, man, if I can pick up an extra 15 minutes on that commute to go to a studio and have the flexibility, it's just better doing it from home.
I should have hit you up last week. I was in San Diego.
Oh, man. See,
I'm like, we have an office downtown. I was there for a holiday party.
okay, cool. Well, next time you're in town, let me know. I'm literally like right downtown, and we'll hang out or grab a beer or something.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so back to your clients though, and back to internet marketing. We'll hop off the watching YouTube videos for self-wellness here. We digressed. I think that I'm very excited about 2019. A lot of people have complained, at least in the pay-per-call space, that new Google rules are going to cause issues and it's not going to work anymore and everything's changing, and so they're very concerned. But in my experience, change brings around a ton of opportunity, and Google isn't going anywhere. So how do you feel about 2019? What do you think are going to be some great changes that are going to happen?
Yeah, so in 2019, marketing is going to get harder, whether it's pay-per-click or SEO or any tactic you use out there. It's more competitive. Companies are now raising majority of their money instead of for infrastructure and employees. They now raise money purely for scale, right? Marketing and sales. So in 2019, when you start seeing things change, yeah, it's going to be harder for you, but don't look at that as, oh, my business is gone. Look at that as an opportunity, because if you can adjust and figure out how to make it work, you'll have less competitors. And there's always someone who figures out how to make it work. So you don't have to be the first. You just have to look at other people and then adapt from there.
And I think that's one of the beautiful things of online marketing is you really don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to go on the internet and look, because a successful marketing campaign is public, especially with the new Facebook tool. I recommend this over and over again. The best ad spy tool on the planet is Facebook now. You go to a page, click info and ads, and now you literally have a list of every single successful ad on Facebook for every single business running them.
Yep, I agree, but people, again, don't want to do that. It works, though, really well.
I can tell from the smile on your face that that is not a lie. So again, for those of you who aren't familiar with spying on other people's Facebook ads, you just go to any Facebook page. On the left-hand side, it says info and ads. Click it. You get a full list of every single sponsored ad that company is currently running on Facebook. And then if you like that page, you'll start to see the ads. And then you can just start Googling their competitors, looking at all their competitors' ads. And sooner or later, what you're going to find is a trend of advertising and tactics that work. Copy those, put your own flair on it. Now you have a successful marketing campaign, and you no longer need to hire Neil or any of our other friends to do it. I'm just kidding. You should definitely hire someone like Neil for his expertise. But realistically speaking, the data is out there for online marketing. And if you're willing to put in the work to find it, every campaign you could ever imagine is sitting right there. So when it comes to your drip funnels and your follow-up campaigns, what is really working for you guys right now? Are you doing any SMS?
SMS works very well for us. We'll do scheduled calls, and we even SMS people a day before, an hour before, and 15 minutes before their scheduled call. We'll also do SMSs where we'll send like a simple little message being like, Adam, ? And you'll be like, who's this? And be like, oh, this is so-and-so from Neil Patel's team. I noticed you watch a webinar. I just want to see if you have any questions, yada, yada, yada. And then we try to get people to convert.
Wow, I really like that tactic. Very intrusive.
Yeah, it works.
Of course. So, and then do you use a combination of the SMS and email? What type of frequency of touch point are you seeing working across all channels?
Message people through multiple channels and a handful of times, each one until you get responses. Try different templates, campaigns, whatever it may be called. And then from there, whatever's working for you, do more of that. But the biggest thing that we've learned is more so versus what you're writing or how you're communicating, it's how quickly are you communicating when you get that phone number or email. We found that if it's within the first 5 minutes, the conversions are through the roof.
Okay, so as soon as you're collecting your lead, you're hitting that person literally within real time.
Ideally, yes. And not just the email, like we try picking up the phone call and calling someone within 5 minutes of it coming in.
Wow, that's amazing. And these are some lessons that apply to all different types of clients, or is this a vertical specific process?
No, it works in almost every industry.
Very cool. And when it comes to your service providers for SMS and email, do you have any favorites that you enjoy working with?
We mainly use Twilio for SMS, and email we use ConvertKit.
Okay, so you've developed some of your own tools to do these follow-ups. You're not using anything stock.
Well, a lot of them plug in, right? So like with Twilio, through API connections, it'll connect with things like EverWebinar or Webinar Jam, or it'll convert with whatever software providers you're using, like Schedule Once or whatever it may be. So what we do is we just figure out what connects with what, and then through APIs, we just plug and play.
Very cool. Very cool. And before we finish here, do you have any other last tips for marketers that are new or maybe scaling their campaigns? Maybe a lesson that you learned the hard way?
Yeah, so once things start working, don't assume that they're going to keep working. And the biggest thing, the hardest lesson that I've seen most entrepreneurs and marketers make is they go out there, they see a campaign, it's working, they scale it, they're like, I'm rich, I'm in the money. It doesn't work like that. After a while, there's going to be fatigue. You need to continue to change up your campaigns. And the good ones change it up weekly. Some of them even change it up daily. It's just that much more effective.
And if our viewers want to work with Neil Patel Digital or hire Neil Patel Digital, how do they get in contact with you guys?
NeilPatelDigital.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching the Paper Collar Show. Let us know what you think by joining the conversation and commenting below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. And if you're on mobile, tap the bell. Whether you're new to pay-per-call or an industry veteran, we invite you to join the free community at papercallers.com. This episode of Paper Callers is brought to you by Ringba Call Tracking and Analytics. See how Ringba is inventing the future of calls at ringba.com. See you next week.